Your smile lights up a room. There's not a single thing that I would change about you, 'cause you're perfect way that God made you.
Well, good evening, everybody.
Evening. This is exciting.
Exciting.
Part of the dream team.
Ryan, is this your first live stream, or have you done live streams before?
No. Not done a live stream before. So this is the test pilot. If it goes badly, you won't ever see me again.
Oh, no. And
if it goes well, you'll see.
Yes. Also, just in case, if you say something and on the next day you think, "Oh God, this shouldn't be online," let me know, and I will just erase those live streams. I'll delete them. Again, no intentions. Everybody should feel good after the live stream. So that is the main idea.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay, Ryan, maybe you could introduce yourself first then.
Yeah, sure. So my name's Ryan, and I am one of the partners at .uk Group. So we're a new company in the UK. The other two partners, Mo and Jeff. So it's the three of us. So we acquired Flip.uk. A kind of rare.
So you are those guys.
We are those guys.
That's Sam mentioned.
So we acquired it about a month ago. It took about a year of negotiating. It's exciting to see what happens. We've got some development going on with Flip and Brandable, so hoping to get some sales through.
Colin never ever mentioned about you guys, never. And I did have a chat with him a while ago, and did connect him to prospective buyers. Actually, he never ever said that they are British guys.
So probably about 18 months ago. So I've been involved in UK since about 2012, and I run a finance company. And we bought premium domain names for our websites, and then obviously did the Nominate thing in 2019, and then I spoke to Dennis and also Steve from Acorn, and I was looking to buy everything at one time, and couldn't quite get a deal together, and then we went with Flip and Brandable, and then obviously we own like 53 premium or rare .co.uk, so we've got h.co.uk, d.co.uk, n.co.uk, 4 one letters, and about 26 two letters pairs. And then we own like vaccine.co.uk, brain.co.uk. So that was quite a big deal. That was an American company that owned those, and we basically bought the portfolio.
Wow. So, and those LLs.co.uk's, you said how many of them? 10?
26.
26. Oh, no.
So
Sam? What is going on, Sam?
Yeah, he's the LOA king.
But then
again, Angie's the one that holds the most. So,
yes.
You know, she's just.
We nearly bought IP.uk.co.uk.
Nice.
Jeff ended up buying him last year. So, But yeah, Andy's got more than us. But the thing is, we wanted to just get nice stock to bring people onto the website. There's going to be a whole new, revamped look. The key thing is obviously with Flip, we're looking to speed it up. So we've got the developers in there. There's going to be a fresh new design. There's going to be inline messaging, so similar to Dan, where you can make an offer counter inline. We're going to put a payment gateway in there. We're looking to, one of the problems with Flip is that a lot of big buyers abroad in India or Pakistan aren't allowed to access it. They're blocked at the moment.
Yes.
So we need to unlock them, but put a safe mechanism in place so that if they do bid on domain stuff, it's done. So we're looking at credit.
Those who don't know, and now they are thinking, why did it happen? I can tell that Colin did analyze the traffic, and he was very, very, if I could use word, anal, in a good way. Very, always on detail, and he didn't want to waste any resources, and including bandwidth and just saving the server space and server processes, and he just started blocking blocks off with countries, including India. And
there's a good opportunity to bring some people in there, more eyeballs on it. I think we'll probably look at maybe credit card verification, possibly. for buyers. We might look at KYC, so similar to crypto, where you've got to upload your passport. There's certain things we're looking at. How far we take it, not entirely sure. We've done an exclusive agreement with Bodis for 12 months. So one of the biggest opportunities, I think, for domain names is the traffic domains. So there's no marketplace where you can go in, or auction platform where you can actually get viable statistics as to what's actually been earned, what is real traffic. So we're integrating with an API to Bodis so that anyone who drop catches or has any traffic domains, we can pull stats across, and therefore you'll be buying on income multiples. So that's a big integration we're working on. So we're really pleased to work with Bodis on that. So that's quite important. Obviously, payment integration is key. I think I've got Digital Candy, which is a separate company, and it does .coms.
I love your website. Absolutely brilliant. Yeah. Ryan?
I love the brand. I think the biggest thing here is that to sell something for decent money, you need a brand, right? And like, say, Dan, Cedo, these are not consumer-facing products. If I speak to anyone, sell a domain, and they're not in the world, you say Dan, Cedo, they just don't get it. Whereas Digital Candy, you can relate to it. And we're going to push that out. Similar as Brandable for premium domains. So there'll be a brand new website on Brandable. We're going to share the technology, which is why we can afford to put it across. And I suppose one of the key things that people don't realise with .co.uk's is that when you list on Dan and someone actually searches for the domain, .co.uk is always like 8th, 9th, 10th on the list against inferior names, but it just doesn't get the placement. So probably a 20% of sales, I think, would be from people actually searching the marketplace versus just using a lander. So I think some of the issues we're trying to do is we're trying to bring in more end users and grow the market, rather than, at the moment, there's not much with .co.uk's between liquidation value. There's not much of a middle market, there's not much liquidity. So I think if we can really push the brands out there through mainstream as well, so we're looking at some general advertising and stuff like that, then people will feel safe and trust us. And we're probably looking at escrow as well, some kind of escrow service. And I've got quite a lot of sorry, yeah.
Ryan, who are you guys? Where did you come from? Really?
Well, I mean, this has been a long time coming, isn't it? There's an opportunity in the market for
that's
a
super
brand,
impressive. Yes,
a GoDaddy killer, just someone independent. So it's just something. I mean, I personally worked on it for maybe 3 years in the background, just trying to work out what we're going to do, how we're going to do, is the market ready. I mean, I full-time sell domain names and websites for a living since January last year.
Okay.
Last year I sold 10,000 domains, maybe 100 websites. Yeah, so I've got big portfolio clients, and now we own, like, on the comms, we own 4,000 comms, and around about, I'd say 300-400 in the new UK group. But they're
so you have 4,000.coms.
Yeah.
And how many .uk's?
UK,
so
around about, so we've got about 400, I think.
400, and despite almost 4,500 domains, you have sold 10,000 last year.
Yeah. So I brokerage. So last year I was brokering on behalf of clients. So I did a lot of portfolio sales for clients in America, clients in China.
I see.
The .uk thing, we've got about 400, but it's only been 3 months. I mean, I think Mo's got 8,000 .co.uk's, and Jeff's got quite a big portfolio as well. So those guys themselves have quite large portfolios, and they're kind of leading the way in the UK space because they've been in it long. They've been in it since the 90s. I think Mo has been in there, so they've got massive experience in this side of things.
Sam, are these the guys who bought off large chunk of your LLLs?
Did I buy 600 from you a year ago?
I did sell. No, I sold. I sold to the
600. Not bad.
I'm not actually going to say who I sold to, but I sold to someone that runs a drop catching system. So that just gives you a very good hint, because there's only a few people that run drop catching systems. But I sold a big chunk to one particular person. I didn't sell you any, but I bought loads of. Originally, I bought loads of Angus giraffe.co.uk. They were selling them at one point years and years ago. They were selling that for £50 for a free letter.co.uk. and the .uk, but they were crap letters, of course. But everyone seems investing in them. You know what I mean? Now
.uk is a good buy for £50, definitely, irrespective of the letters. .uk, I think I had 2 offers on 600 domains for about £750. And I was waiting for because Nominate once a year do the 2-year registration for £2.50. So I bought them thinking, right, I'll do the 2-year registration, which makes sense. And of course, last year, Nominate didn't do it.
No.
That's affected.
They're not doing any promotions, and that's what I always have a go at them for. Each time I see them, I say, "You're not doing promos anymore." They used to do it a lot. Now they're just taking their money and spending it on something else. You know, they're just making so much money out of us domainers.
Yeah, I mean, things like transferring domains to end users, £12 for a transaction.
Ridiculous. Yeah,
it's too much. When you look at .coms, you can do a push for free. It's expensive. I think Mo gets really good deal flow. So one of the things is, if you want to be a domainer, you need enough domains to get enough inquiries so that you can be realistic with your pricing. If you've got a handful of domains, you might wait 6 months for an offer, and then it's like they've kind of got you over the barrel a little bit. That's one of the biggest things: having enough domains to sell.
We should get you guys all 3 on the stage on the next London Domain Summit in August. Really, you should, guys. Yeah, I have received all the paperwork. Everything has been agreed, and the premises, and yeah, I'm just going through the basic registrations until I sign the paperwork. But you can definitely mark those dates in your diary.
I was due to come in August last year when we were going to announce Flip.
Okay.
But the sale didn't go ahead at the time, so I didn't come. But I know Mo Jeff be up for that. I think we're going to do some kind of. I think the website's aiming for new launch of the whole systems, maybe in the next 6 weeks. So we could do something around about that time with all the new features and that sort of thing.
That's fabulous. And then the first things first. Are you going to introduce fees at Flip?
We're looking at fees. I mean, stuff like payment processing is 2.6% with Stripe.
Yes, okay.
So there's going to be some fees. The UK market, the biggest problem is that it's gone to zero. So unless someone's going to come and actually pay people to get on the platform, we need to put stuff on there.
And but you already have lots and lots of domains.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we can sell our own. But what I mean is in general, because we're creating a third-party system that people can list their domains on with those features, so they can come in on there. And Flip's going to have quite a lot of integration as well. And domain parking and Bodis, that's going to be really easy and simple for people who only have a few domains.
But Sam, can you share your strategy? Buying on Flip and selling at...
Oh, yeah, I used to do that. I used to buy at Flip and then sell on Domain Law. And then they used to double wait. There's just a bigger... I honestly think, but this is sounding bad now, but I honestly think there's a bigger audience on Domain Law mainly because Denise has been running it for a long time. It's turned over 4 million in sales. And Flip, obviously it's going to get faster, but that was one of the main problems. It was very slow, and it kept I was trying to list names, and it was just it hasn't got as many people on it at the moment. But then saying that, a lot of the guys that were buying are now buying on Flip, so they're even now. So if you list a name on Flip, you're not paying anything, and there's a lot of people on there selling off stuff. But I was buying loads of stuff on there. But now it's a different story. There's too many people on there buying, so I'm not buying on there anymore because there's more buyers.
The best one I missed out on, which I tried to buy afterwards, was metaverse.uk, and the guy picked up for £10 on Flip. I mean, that's a crazy domain. But look, the thing is, I think Colin did an amazing job with the resources he had to create a platform that really helped people out.
Absolutely.
So I think he did amazing stuff. He didn't want to ever monetize or put any put resources behind it because it was a side project, and because he didn't. I think that when people start paying for a service, or you charge commission, or you offer these features, then they've got room to complain. And I think he didn't want that as a business, whereas I'm okay. We've got developers in-house. We can sort out the server and the speed and that kind of thing quite easily.
Yes, that was one of the things before Flip was running on a VPS, I think. Yes, was it?
Yeah.
Everything was
Yeah,
cost optimized. Yes. Although he had
Yeah.
money, but yeah, very cautious and very pragmatic guy, Colin is. I like Colin.
I mean, I built our own servers when we were running a finance company.
Okay.
We're now with OVH. I've got an IP block that we pay for. I hosted 500 websites. So I've been, part of my journey was when we set up the finance company. We bought the top Arsenal football website blog in 2012, and the idea was put an advert on there that says if you're in London, you want a mortgage, use us because we're London based. And that was getting 250,000 unique visits a month. I built a portfolio of 25 football sites. We were getting 5 million, 10 million uniques a month. We had maybe 200, 300 finance websites. So I've kind of what I'm offering in the partnership with Mo and Jeff is the person who's going to let's sort out the branding, let's get some credibility, let's get some resources behind it, let's get good design, let's get these features, and then I'll implement them because I can code and I've done bits and bobs. I won't do it myself, but that's the kind of thing I'm offering. And branding is a big thing. I got into premium domain names so we started buying up. I created a lot of websites, and I realized that if you had a better domain name or exact match domain name, you'd rank better, your cost of advertising is lower, people are more trusting, so conversions went up, we converted more business. So then I started investing in more and more domains. So I bought like privatebanks.uk and co.uk. In 2014, 15, 16, .uk's ranked much better than .co.uk's. Like hand over fist, they were much better. And I did a lot of split testing. We launched the .co.uk and the .uk at the same time with 2,500 words on each of the websites. .uk all day long outranked it. And then in 2016, we bought bridging.com, which took 18 months to negotiate. Biggest spend I'd done on a domain name. And that put things through the roof for us in terms of credibility and dominating an industry in the UK for bridging and development finance. And then when COVID happened, so we did the Nominet. Sam, I don't know if you did the Nominet drop catch thing. We paid 100,000 or 90,000 pounds to participate in that auction where .uk's were released. I think it was 2019, which was just an absolute disaster in terms of we didn't really catch much. It wasn't worth it. Since that point, .co.uk's have overtaken UK's in terms of ranking, credibility, and people that I speak to, they prefer .co.uk. Maybe 6 to 9 months ago, that changed. So you had big charity went on a .uk. There's a few people now marketing .uk. I don't know if it's a transitionary period, but from my personal point of view, at the moment, the best thing to do is buy .co.uk's or .uk's, any of them. It's an investment opportunity, but you're going to have to wait maybe 2-3 years to get a decent return on them because the market's just not there at the moment. I deal in Australia and Canada as well through the comms, and I've never seen the .co.uk's at such a low price. There's very little action, and people seem, because they see domain law and they see there's just no premium product in the middle that justifies the value. So it's just hard work trying to sell them, I found.
And then you also have 4 single-digit .co.uk's.
Yeah, so they're super rare. So I think the going rate, when I spoke to people, they said the going consensus was that for an end user sale of a 2-letter .co.uk UK pair was £100,000 to £200,000 per pair. That's what you should be selling them at.
Okay. Yes.
A 1-letter, there's a couple of people I know that own 1-letters, and they're not going to sell for less than 7 figures. I think you're probably in about the 500 grand region for a company. I mean, you're dominating the whole space with. I think you have to compare them to collectibles and NFTs as well. They're one of a kind, super rare. As a link shortener, not so much nowadays, but I'm thinking like say h.co.uk in the UK. That's got to be right for hotels or some of these bigger companies that can use it. So I think they're very rare. And there's a pair I'm just about to sell for mid 5 figures, a 2-letter pair, which is under where I'd want to be, but it's a reasonable price. It seems a fair price. And then it's quite good actually, because when you've got the premium domains, you're getting inquiries all the time, which is also quite good because you need deal flow to just be able to sell some stuff. But we've had multiple offers on government.co.uk, offers on Brain, I think it's airplane or aircraft, but there's definitely a lot of interest in them. But it's weird with .co.uk, to make a living on them, you need a really good, you either need a large portfolio or you need really good quality stuff. But it's hard to arbitrage between stuff like Sam was saying now, between flip and domain law, because the margins are so tight. When I look at comms, where I can, if I buy a com, I'll make 5,000 to 10,000 on the transaction, same day. So it's
same day.
Yeah, so I got Mayfair.com in when COVID happened. I got Mayfair.com. I paid 20,000 for it and sold it for 30,000 the same day.
Okay.
That was subsequently sold for $90,000, and the new owners turned down, I think, 600,000 or 700,000 on that domain. So this is before I was full-time domaining. Yeah, I bought news.com with a Z shortly after that. Paid 9,000 through a liquidator. So I work with banks and kind of IP companies. So when a company goes bankrupt or it's complex, they'll come to me.
Yes.
Buy them. So news with a Z. I bought it for 9, sold it the same day for 14. It was to Riz, who passed away. I don't know if you know Riz, big time domainer. He took it on payment terms actually from me. And on the 3rd month when the payment was due, he sold it for $70,000. So I was like, right, okay, I need to hold on to them for longer or spend some time researching kind of floor prices and that sort of thing.
Sam.
Yo.
There are more sales than Shweta is selling.
Yeah, XYZs.
Yes, and when XYZs are questionable, then wow,
she's still selling them, apparently.
I mean, she's doing amazingly well. I suppose there's 2 things need to know about XYZ. One is if you try and send an email, I've heard of people who it's on Google. If you Google, basically it will get caught in a spam filter, and there's nothing much you can do about it at the moment. So that's not good. She does sell well. There was obviously a massive promotion last year or the last couple of years where it's 99 cents for a domain. Again, that brings in big volume. Probably one of the interesting things about XYZ, which isn't being done on the other extensions, is the online identity. So like you've got .eth domains, which is going to be your online identity, potentially to log into Twitter, your wallet, that sort of thing. Well, XYZ have the DNS infrastructure to enable those functions on those domains. It's just that registrars aren't doing that at the moment. So that's a matter of time until it comes across. Nominet should be looking at this kind of infrastructure so you can have your wallet as part of your domain and stuff like that, and that will really boost things.
Okay. So, Ryan, you actually believe in Shweta sales, yes?
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay.
You got to look at what she's selling. She's selling the ultra prime ones to companies who.
I'm definitely on the other side. Yes. I don't buy that story. Absolutely.
The only thing you have to be aware of is obviously, is it Daniel Nagar, the main guy behind XYZ? He's got a funny. I think that's his name. The owner of the XYZ extension. He's got a bit of a checkered history. They've done stuff in the past which I think they've had to repay because they broke advertising laws or something. There's a bit of stuff behind it that is probably where I would go, okay, I don't know about Shweta sales. I'd take it on face value, but because of other nefarious things that been involved in that, there's maybe a slight concern. But again, she's selling the ultra prime, and to be honest, like XYZ is the 2nd best extension behind comms, in my opinion. It's quite trendy. You've got Web3. You've got all the DeFi space, crypto. I wouldn't use it, but I do think.
Ryan, have you been at any of the Web3 at any Web3 event in London?
No. But I've invested heavily in the crypto space and into DeFi.
Broke ass. Anybody's broke ass. Anybody.
Yeah.
Really. I
mean, well, the thing is, the market's there. Whether we agree with that or not, there are sales happening.
Yeah. Okay.
It's hard to go against that. In terms of, do I believe in that industry? Absolutely not. But they've adopted it as a second choice to the com, and sales are generally there. But partly because it's 99p as well. And now it's not 99p; they're all going to be dropped.
I think they were giving them free of charge as well. No, am I wrong? For 1 year, they had that promotion. Or maybe was it? Or maybe you were right. Yes, 99 cent. Yes.
Because I think Meta came out today. They're suing the extension, the owners of the extension .tk.
Really?
So TK some weird island that basically the 20 million domains registered, and the reason why is because they're free.
Okay.
And Meta are going after them because they're saying that they're being used for phishing and all the other kind of stuff. So that news broke today.
Absolutely, there is a line there is a line of extensions that are totally free. TK is one of them, and there was one .org.eu, I think, that were free as well. And those are mostly used by scammers and by spammers. And for us, when users come with these domains to our cloud, mail functionality is disabled by default, and it will not be enabled for them. Very simple. You can create a website, but do not.
There was Swetha was at an event somewhere, so they posted a photo online at the event. That was earlier this week on Twitter. So she's a real person. I know that much.
She's alive.
It's just a shame that .co.uk hasn't got the. It's that even XYZ could be. That it would be a buying choice for people, or .io or .co. That would be a buying choice. And that's largely just because it's been it's a race to zero, isn't it? Or it has been a race to zero.
Yeah, co.uk is, unfortunately, it's the British market is they just don't want to spend the money, They just don't want to seriously spend the money. You're lucky to get over 5 figures on a lot of co.uks. If you can get to 6 figures, then you're bloody doing well. It's you just look at the sales stats look at the reports. I know some people say they don't report a lot of stuff. The 2 letters and the single letters are always going to fetch the good money. But a lot of people in the UK, they won't report their sales. I won't report some of the sales because I don't want to ruin it for the person that's bought it. Because it's just like on Twitter, you see people posting all the sales. Why the hell are you posting a sale and then adding an image to go, I've sold it, there you go, that's the price? It's just madness, but that's just me.
I mean, for me, one of the things is there doesn't seem much support between co.uk owners. So if someone posts on LinkedIn or Twitter, there's not much engagement behind it. People aren't on their Twitter bio saying that they buy and sell UK domains. So that also doesn't get the exposure. It's a very amateur market. There's not many big players that come in. The portfolios, the top domains were bought years and years ago. You don't really see that. I mean, there's some nice ones on Flip at the moment. There's Boomerang. That's a nice domain. I think that's sitting at about 1,000. Frank.co.uk. That's a nice domain.
Both been caught, those domains, and this is another thing that really gets me going with the drop catch. Nominate changed the drop catching system, so now it's just impossible to catch unless you really know what you're doing. Unless you're a coder, unless you really know certain things. There's a certain I know the guy that caught Boomerang and Frank and whatever, and he knows coding, and he seems to catch a lot. Denise knows coding, so then Denise has his other people that catch on behalf of him that then get listed on domain law for sale. So then he has a fleet of catchers that do that, and then they all go on the platform, ding 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 ding, and people bid on them. And then you get the other ones that are using Rob's system, which everyone uses because it's just it's a certain price and you pay monthly. But it's just, you've got to change the settings for each domain that you're going to catch, especially on the system I'm using. And you've got to change it to the last millisecond, and you have to keep changing. When before my drop catching system used to do everything for it did it all automatically, and it just caught domains. And I made a lot of money out of drop catching, and that's how I started, years ago. But now it's they did it for a reason. I know why, because people were going crazy and and using loads of different tags and firing all at the same time. But now the market is just so saturated, and it's very, very hard to catch a domain name, a decent one anyway.
I mean, Transcom have got a script that I used years ago.
Yeah. Does it actually work?
I don't do it anymore, to be honest, because it's too much of a hassle. I've got to look through domain lists every night. You've got to too much work.
It's a lot of work, and then you see an email. Sorry, you haven't caught this domain. You're like, what was the point? You know what I mean? You know, it's crazy. I've caught some good names. You know, I caught recently migrate.co.uk, and I caught pmc.co.uk. Both really good high-end names. I think PMC is a really good one, because look how many companies are using PMC. Migrate, I had straight away a domainer approached me and said, look, I'll give you $2,500. And of course I said no. Migrate actually has got some good links, and it used to be an energy comparison website.
Wow.
So, you know, the thing is, even if you catch one domain a month, it's probably worth it. But you've got to remember, I used to catch 5 to 10 domains a day, like SEO domains and good domains. Now, maybe one a month, if that.
And those domains are there. Somebody else is catching them.
Yeah, someone else is catching, like Boomerang got caught. Yes. And the same person that got Frank caught that. So he's probably using all of his, because you get 1,000. So he uses probably all of his hits on one domain, fires them all off, bang, and goes to that one domain. Whereas a lot of other people are staggering it, because you only get 1,000 a day. So you do 20 on that, 50 on that, 100 on that, 299 on one. It's a real, you know, it is a lot of work to mess around with, but there's still good domains dropping in the U. I'm still amazed, like Boomerang. Why would you drop that? You know, the company that dropped that, you know, mad. You know,
I think there is an opportunity for people though to just buy off domain law or flip.
Oh yeah.
Either wait for it as it's an investor market at the moment. If you can go there and buy them and forget about them,
they're still going dirt cheap as well. So, you know, if you're looking to buy at the moment, is the best time to buy. You know, we are in a buyer's market. We're not in a, you know, I don't see silly people bidding silly prices at the moment. You know, I remember days when the free letters on the domain law were going for several thousands to domainers. Now they're going for like 200-300 quid, 400 quid. You know, it's just.
Yeah, the market's just I think the uncertainty. I think Australia have done really well since going to .au, the shortened version, but just the way it was handled, the way you could get the domains at the time. You know, I mean, I put like 90,000 or 100,000 in to be part of that process, and there was certainly very, very close to the catching time that threw all our systems off. And so it was all. I mean, look, the biggest opportunity in this is and why I was trying to acquire Flip last year was basically to buy the rights from Nominet, right? Buy the rights for 5 years for every domain that expires, then have a public-facing auction similar to Namejet and that kind of thing. So I think that opportunity exists, whereby if you had enough capital, you'd buy the rights for 5 years, say, right, everything, to keep it fair, goes through Flip, right? And then that way you've got a continual flow. It's similar to Namejet that does incredibly well for those type of domains.
I think there is at least one marketplace that would not agree to your offer. I
mean, things go in cycles, don't they? But whether I mean, it's going to come down to money at the end of the day, and there should be a fair system for drop catching.
Here's a question, and yes, Ryan, can you see the questions on the screen? Yes.
Yep.
So here's a question: how do you feel about blockchain domains? Maybe Sam, you can go first. Thank you. If you have any thoughts, Sam.
Me, blockchain domains. No, I've never really got into it. I know a lot of people keep going on about it, and someone actually messaged me the other day, and he said blockchains are the future, and I said, really? Yeah, that's the answer. I'm not really into them. You know, some people are, some people aren't. You know, I'm sticking to .com and .co.uk.
So I own Handshake domains.
Okay.
I got them quite early, about a year ago. So you buy, it's a token-based thing. A lot of the good ones have gone by the time I got there, but I bought a lot and I've sold a fair amount. I wouldn't say I've made massive money, because the problem with Handshake domains is the underlying token is just going to zero. But the other thing is that you've got unstoppable domains and stuff that offer the services. Of course, they've been sued by someone. Whoever had created the system got sued, and I'm not sure if Namecheap or someone big was going to stand in behind and help that, but that's pretty much done. There's going to be massive conflicts between ICANN and these providers. And then .eth domains, there's hype, but to be honest, it's part of that whole crypto NFT bubble that has definitely burst. I like blockchain as technology is great, right? And there are practical applications that help in finance and will help in domain registry services. Will those domains, are they good investments? I probably wouldn't say so, because the underlying token devalues at too much of a rate. And I believe, like I said, mentioned XYZ have the infrastructure to offer some of those identity services and stuff like that. So it's important that blockchain, they go and innovate, because that's what happens in the world. Someone's incentivized to innovate, they innovate, and then the big players come along and put a structure and trust behind it. So it's an interesting space, but I'm not a massive crypto advocate, and I've invested reasonably heavily in it over the last couple of years. It's not for me.
Okay. Okay. Which marketplace wouldn't like Flip's idea? Wait, well, domain lore, of course. Come on. If they are profiting out of drops, of course they wouldn't like it, and that's normal. Okay. Good luck with the idea. Although,
well, I mean, to be honest, if you're going to invest
of something in the UK, it doesn't really work. It will be really difficult to get it through.
Yeah, I mean, there's two things. One is that if you're going to invest that heavily into that infrastructure, domain law wouldn't be an issue, because you just agree a way of doing it. The key thing here is that this isn't a monopoly in terms of getting the domains for private venture. This is about making it free and accessible to everyone, and giving everyone the same opportunity. Because at the moment, drop catching is impossible.
Or you might give an idea to nominate.
Yeah. Or tender
auction, or maybe they will get an idea to auction out all the drops.
And if it improves the market, which it invariably will do, that's why when you've got migrate, that's why someone will offer you £2,500 directly afterwards. If they were allowed to participate in a fair, transparent way, that domain's going to go for 5, 6, 7, 8, a reasonable price where they can make money. And at the moment, it's not even at the moment, to be honest. For a long time, it's been that way. I mean, Dennis at Domain Law, his drop catching system's great, but he ties people in. That's his USP. In terms of the USP offers is that technology, which is great. I'm not saying anything about it. It's a great thing, but that's the bit of a control he has at the moment on that side of things. And Domain Law has got loads of sales, but the website isn't responsive. The marketing behind it, he's very strict on the accounts that you can register, so it gets rid of any potential retail customers or end users. Look at Name Silo; they've got an amazing marketplace whereby it will appear in Google that it's up for auction, the domain, so end users also get the chance rather than being just the domainers. Name Silo is a great marketplace for acquiring domains, even UK domains. Don't know if you ever go on there, but I've seen some amazing UKs on there that are in auction for like literally a few dollars.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Weirdly, they don't do. You can't filter by .co.uk, but Name Silo, if you're looking for a place where no one knows, that's the place to go for UKs. There's some really nice domains that you can pick up relatively inexpensively.
Who are domainers who sell their domains for that cheap? The places like Name Silo.
Well, I mean, how did Frank or Boomerang get dropped? For whatever reason, isn't it? People don't renew it. They've lost face. Yeah. The business is gone. They're the opportunities you're looking for, and that's where how I would make money is I look at Cedo, I look at Namejet, I look at domain law and flip more and more now, and it's what is the opportunity there, and then that's how I make my money, because I spend a lot of time looking into those auctions and seeing what works. Domain catching is, for the amount of time that I'd have to allocate in resources, it just doesn't work for me.
Also, last week Sam mentioned that you guys bought DN Forum. Did you?
Yeah, so yeah, Digital Candy. We bought DN Forum about a month ago. It's offline at the moment, purely because
I did see it, yes.
I'm having the database is being cleansed, the files are being cleansed. So what happened is it's been sold 3 or 4 times over its lifetime,
Yes.
and no one's actually gone in there and cleaned things up as it's moved. Generally, I sell a lot of websites, so generally it'd be cleaned down and ready to go. But there's quite a lot of legacy stuff there, so we wanted to just clean it down. And it was due to launch tonight, but it'll probably go live tomorrow. But there's, I think, can't remember what it was, 2 million posts is there? Hey, got a new visitor.
Bang.
So, yeah,
what was the price?
I can't. I'm not
Of course
allowed
you
to say
can.
what the price.
Okay, you can. Yes.
We'll say it was 5 figures. I can't. I
Figures,
can't really.
okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't be very thing. But yeah, no, we bought it. There's a couple of things we're about to close on, which is interesting. I mean, we lend money against domains. So I've got Oxygen.uk.
Wow.
So we lend money against domains. What else do we do?
I can add my domains and I can borrow a load of money then.
Yeah, well, your domains, yeah, definitely, but it depends. Generally, it's comms, but I'm looking to expand that. That's going to go big at the end of this year. The other thing I'm working on, which is going to go live at the end of the year, and this is really exciting, I think. So I've been to the FCA and got approval. I've had all the legals done on it, and it's basically fractional ownership.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah.
So what happens is let's say you've got a domain name that's $1 million. You break it into 10,000 pieces or 100,000 pieces, and you allow Joe Public to buy a share. When someone wants to make an offer on it, it goes to a vote. And also the exciting part and the technically complex part is allowing people to trade those shares for other assets or a liquidity buyout. So when you look at websites that generate income, yeah, I mean, the exciting part is when you've got websites that generate income, we can then pay dividends every 3 months. And stuff like that. So we're working more towards the innovation. That's on the Digital Candy side of things, or Ewen, is the holding company. So that's hopefully go live at the end of the year. We're looking at insurance policy. So a lot of people are nervous about owning domains; they might get sued. So we're looking at launching insurance policy where we've got in-house legal counsel that will deal with your domain disputes, anything like that. So some ancillary services that haven't been done. And that's the whole purpose of everything we're working on, is just to innovate new products. Because in general, to be honest, it's boring. GoDaddy or the registrars, they make money from SSL, they make money from emails, they make money from hosting. Those days have gone, to be honest. Those kind of services, everyone's doing them. I personally wouldn't host a website on GoDaddy because I run a business, therefore I have dedicated servers. When people talk about making money online or websites, they're like, well, I've got WordPress and 60% of the internet runs on WordPress. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. But 60% of the internet doesn't make any money because they're running on WordPress, because you've got Yoast as an SEO plugin. Because of these things, it's kind of had its time. So I do think that innovation is coming in, and the people I'm speaking to are quite excited about it. And that's why we've got quite a lot of backing behind us.
And can you share the flips buying flips price?
5 figures.
5 figures as well.
5 figures.
Both together into 6 figures. So
no.
Okay.
No. I mean, flip was the hard part. If you were to build that yourself, you couldn't build it for what we bought it for. But yeah, these are quite considered purchases. Yeah, no, you couldn't. No. You got to look at the traction it's got. It's ready now. The reason why I like it is it's got a reasonable brand. We're going to put a really nice looking website on there. Put the features in there that people want, that they're happy to pay for because it adds value. And basically, whenever you're selling something, if you earn a commission, you're incentivized to sell as much as possible for the highest possible price for the person you're selling for. So why wouldn't you want the best features? Why wouldn't you pay that service? And there are alternatives. So, but the key thing is, from an internet point of view, it's established enough. The SEO stats on DN Forum are like, I think it's got a AH reference 76 or something. I've got a broker database of, I think there's 500,000 users, something like that, on the platform. So we're going to do similar to Flip. Flip's going to have a regular weekly newsletter in terms of, right, these kind of assets are coming onto platform. Maybe we'll spot some of the content on Acorn Domains, because that's really good for UK domainers.
Yes.
Steve's done an amazing job there. It runs quickly. It's amazing for that space. So consolidate a newsletter out once a week. Maybe look at if people want notifications on their phone for bidding. They're the kind of things we're trying to do, which will drive up sell prices.
What do you think, sir? What's he asking? What question?
What are your thoughts about all these news?
Or what? News?
Super impressive.
Well,
right?
it's good,
Super
obviously.
impressive.
Anything that happens in the UK industry is good, because I know Mo and I know Jeff. I've done countless transactions. I've met Mo. I've never met Jeff. So yeah, they're two good guys. Mo's been in it for a long time, and I know he runs multiple other businesses. So yeah, I've met him at quite a lot of nominate events. So yeah, I know the guys, and I don't really know Ryan, but I obviously know him now.
Yeah, I mean, Mo's had lots of success. I think he owned something like theatretickets.co.uk, built a business on it, became quite big. I think he exited around about COVID time, which was the perfect time, just before it all happened. So he's got big sales track. He's one of the OGs, a bit like Jeff. They've been around it or like Sam, a long time, specifically on coding. I mean, I've had different work avenues I pursued, but more and more we'll go into it and see where we get to. But I think, yeah, anything that drives up value for people or price can only be a good thing, to be honest, and just see what happens. Keep innovating.
Ryan, can you show us your jacket? What have you got on? I'll put you on the whole screen.
Look at that. It's top domain broker for March so far. So I get the gold jacket. Plus I got back from Vegas 2 weeks ago. Went to Vegas for meetings. I've got some investors out in America and Canada. So I was over there, and I've got the jacket to symbolize my inability to gamble. But I sell a lot of domains.
So that is not a joke, yes? Top domainer is it by which platform? That is just a joke.
No.
Maybe I have missed something. Okay.
I'm the top domain salesperson in the company.
Okay, in the company, in your own company, yes. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we probably investment total over the last 6 months is 7 figures. I can tell you that much across everything I own. So I've got Digital Candy or Ewen and Digital Candy DN Forum on that side, plus our domain portfolio. Then the investment in the .uk group coupled together is 7 figures. And that's probably going to go much higher, I think, with these other products.
Acquisitions.
Well, if you want to get good at something, you've got to basically put your money where your mouth is. You've got to go there, buy it, whether it's even one domain. If you've got an intention to sell it, you need to go and outbound it and grow that kind of portfolio and learn. And there's no, you learn lessons quickly when you put your own money behind it.
And DN Forum, the second largest domain name forum.
Yeah.
So you have access almost to all the past and existing domainers.
Correct. Yeah.
They like it or not, but they are registered there.
Yeah, it's good distribution for us. I mean, we may integrate some of the Flip stuff into DN Forum and get exposure on that. With our weekly newsletter. There's a whole range of just. I mean, in terms of distribution, you can't really beat DN Forum for where it's at, for what it's got. Obviously, you've got Name Pros, which is the biggest, and then you've got Acorn, which is amazing for UK's. But for distribution, you want access to those historic emails. And we'll probably look at some advertising partnerships. We're being approached by a few people who want to advertise on the site, so that'll monetize it. If you're selling a website, it's generally worth 40 times the monthly income as a rule of thumb. I've sold a fair bit through. I use Flipper. Flipper's been really good. I'm a broker or super seller on there. So I've sold a whole range of sites from non-monetized to monetized.
Is it 40 times of income or 2.5 to 5 times of annual turnaround?
Yeah, so it was between a boundary, isn't it? So it's one and the same thing, if you know what I mean. It's 4 years is 48 months. Yes. But I would say, as a rule of thumb, I'd say 40 times your income is probably a safe bet. Okay. Park domains is a big one. So they're going for market rate at the moment is 28 times monthly income. And then it can go up 28 to 36, depending on, obviously, the more track record you've got, the better. But that area is quite hard because publishing advertising rates have gone down quite a lot in the last 6 months. But as a rule of thumb, I'd say if you've got domain parking, it's earning $1, $2, $3 a month, then you probably get 28 times your money.
Sam is running some numbers in his head.
Yeah, I'm just thinking. Yeah, parking. I love domains that make money off parking. Doesn't everyone?
I've seen some crazy ones. I'm trying to think. Big domainer owns, I can't remember what it was. He tried to sell me it, and it was doing 10,000 a month on domain parking.
Nice.
And what it is you've got a lot of these live streaming companies that basically run on a .tv or a .weird extension. And so what happens is they'll catch, if you get the .com, the mistype traffic alone is on that particular domain about 10,000 a month, which is just insane for domain parking. I mean, I've got a domain at the moment that gets 51 million uniques a month.
Wow.
Jeez.
What is it?
Yeah.
Queen.com?
Yeah.
No, gu.com.
gu.com.
Yeah, so it's owned by The Guardian, the newspaper company.
Yes.
It was used as a link shortener, and the historical traffic, it was doing 51 million a month last year, and then they've actively reduced that because they're looking to sell the domain. So now it's doing about, I think in January it did maybe 600,000 to 800,000 uniques in a month.
So you are broke.
Yeah. It was one of the ones from last year. I had a pending sale agreed, and then we did the traffic test, and because it had come down to a bit of a level, the sale fell through. But they're the hottest property at the moment. Is a 2-letter that has some kind of advertising revenue. Is probably, in terms of com, is where it's at. I mean, you can't buy a 2letter.com for under 600. You do well if you can get it for under 600,000 as a rule of thumb. So the step up with comms is just incredible versus where .co.uk are. I mean, you can't buy a 3letter.com for, I would say the flat rate lowest you're going to get is maybe, if you can pick it up for $10,000, you've got an absolute bargain, irrespective of the letters. And then compare that to, say, .co.uk's, which, I mean, Sam, what do you reckon in auction for a .co.uk?
3-letter. Yeah. Well, what the thing is, yeah, 3 letters are, even to end users, can go for 5, 10K, 15K, 20K. It's like, depends what they are, but people struggle to sell a lot of 3 letters for good money. A lot of them go for under 10 grand, easy. Even to end users, because the thing is say someone's held it since 1998, and I know Angus owns about 8,000 3 letters, and I know for a fact that they're going to sell them if they get an offer, and they haven't had many offers. Say you had them for that many years, you're just going to take the whatever offer. They might negotiate a bit, but you've got to think about it. If you've had this name since 1997, you've only had one offer on it, that lead's hot, and you should really try and sell the bloody thing. You know what I mean? It's just like, UKs are never going to be as strong as com. So that's the different thing. You can play with it. You know, obviously I'm a bit harder with my sales. I'll just like say, see you later. You know what I mean? And then just let the sale go. But sometimes I think to myself, I should have bloody sold it. But that's the difference between the UK and the .com. You know, you're going to get a lot more inquiries. You're going to get a better price for it all day long. You know what I mean? It's just like I've got gel.co.uk. You know, what do you reckon I could get for that? You know, it's just people just don't know. You know, it's a good name, but it's 1995, I think, or 6. I can't remember. But it's an old one. You know, the old ones are, you know, it's like how many, because it's like you buy, if you're buying and investing off other people, how long have they held on to it for? That's what you got to think, you know.
I mean, Mo owns some really nice 3 letters. He owns red.co.uk in UK. No. And I've seen, I mean, Mo's got great insight with his portfolio, and I've seen some of the offers he gets, and I'm like, it just blows my mind when I look at the offers I get on the comms, like just total worlds apart. It's absolutely insane. And I think that's why with Brandable, having a premium marketplace, you know, premium assets sell really well when they're around other premium assets. And at the moment, there isn't that kind of platform that showcases the best of the best and brings eyes to the website. And a lot of the domains, the premium ones we bought, they get incredible amounts of traffic and throughput. We don't use domain parking or anything on them, but they get really good numbers, and it just drives more traffic to the site. And it's probably worth, if you're investing in domains, to have like, I bought pizzadelivery.com. And wow. Yeah, I bought it in December. Pizza delivery, pizza restaurant. I also own pizza-delivery.com. So when people come in and lowball me, I say, yeah, I've got the perfect one for you. Here, have a hyphen. Yeah. So it's always good to have like a second tier domain that you can go back with when you get crazy offers. Some of the comms I own synagogue.com. What else do I own? Skiers.com. Razorblades.com is one of my favorite ones.
Wow.
I really like.
Okay.
Probably one of my best sales was Trapped.com.
Trapped?
I bought Trapped.
Trapped, yes.
Yeah, I bought it for like $2,500 in January last year and sold it in February for $40,000. But that was outbounding, so I'll generally outbound domains and contact them. But this the thing is, when you're looking at even at .co.uk's, you've got to go on Google and see how many potential people could you sell to. And if there's between 10 and 20, you've got a very good chance of sending them email and someone will snap it up, because once they're gone in comms, they're gone forever.
Oh, absolutely.
They might come back on the market and you can get a price, but that's probably one of the interesting things.
Okay, we have been on already for 1 hour, for 15 minutes. And in the bottom, there was an advertisement running for the last year's domain summit. My apologies. Wanted to change to these ones years, but next time. So what do you think about, have you both seen the recent domain sales at DN Journal?
I've seen if it's UK sales, I've seen the domain, whatever it is, the UK one. I've kept an eye on that one.
Okay. I haven't seen that one.
But,
where do you follow these?
You've got the UK, which aggregates. It shows how much domain law sold, how much flip sold.
Okay.
Domain history.uk. That's the one for the UKs that I keep an eye on.
Okay, let us have a look.
So it shows on there a number of sales for domain law, number of sales for flip, which is quite good.
Domainhistory.co.uk or .com?
Domainhistory.uk.
Oh, .uk. .co.uk doesn't resolve.
No, .uk.
Domain history.
Domain saleshistory.uk.
Oh God, they need a better domain name. Somebody sell them history.uk. Come on.
We'll sell them d.co.uk. I spoke to Dennis about d.co.uk. I said, Dennis, do you want to buy d.co.uk? No, he's not a big buyer of those type of domains. But that's quite a good resource to keep an eye on. And it's good because you've got flip sales on their CEDO. And I mean, from Flip, there's an XML feed, so any sale will go through to domain sales history. So you can see their domain law last month or last 30 days have done 10 times what Flip's done. But it ebbs and flows.
So top 10 sales in the last 30 days is walkingforhealth.org.uk, 13 to 50.
Look where it goes to if you go to it now.
Where does it go?
We like to check websites when they've been sold.
Okay. Blessed CBD.
Yeah. So they just put in a 301 on it.
Yeah.
It just redirected it.
That was an SEO domain, wasn't it? If I remember. So they go for quite good.
Yes.
I mean, if you're trying to build links and use an agency, it's very expensive. So agencies will come in and then just 301 that somewhere.
If anyone's in the wine industry and wants a really good domain, they know where to come. I want to sell that, vinopolis.co.uk, but it needs to be someone that's in the wine industry.
Yes.
Because it's got a hell of a lot of traffic.
And preferably in London as well.
Yeah, London, yeah.
Which domain was that?
Vinopolis.co.uk. Do you remember Vinopolis in London? There used to be what was it? A wine tasting.
Yes, you could go around. They did wine tours and stuff like that. And also, so there is still a page on TripAdvisor.
I still get emails about people wanting to come wine tasting.
15,000 reviews or something, or I could be wrong, but yes.
Yeah.
And then around one day I was walking down the River Thames on the other side, and I saw this huge column, and it was written there, vinopolis.co.uk. I just made a picture, sent to Sam, and he couldn't believe it. We talked about that on the live stream, and then they just repainted that column. But that column was there for years.
Yeah.
So that was the main catch.
Yeah, that was a court domain. I've had it since 2017. It's quite a high DA and PA. I think it's 52 DA or whatever. But it's got a ton of good links and it's got good traffic. And it's just trying to I've got it affiliated with who's the big wine company? Majestic of Wines at the moment. But it makes sales through that, but really it needs to be sold to a company that sells wine or does something to do with wine, wine tasting especially, because that was the biggest thing that they were very popular for that.
That's just reminded me of my first domain sale, which was back in 2008, pizzatogo.co.uk.
Oh, quality. Yeah, that's a proper company now, isn't it? Is it? Pizza to go?
I'm not sure what's happened to it. £299 on CEDO.
Oh,
there you go.
That was one of my first. I bought a few domains and then a couple sold, but I never really went into it. I have in 2012 set up a finance business with my brother, so that's been a main focus for quite a long time. But yeah, that was happy days back then. That was a lot of money.
Good memories.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I own some crazy domains actually. So I own manunited.co.uk.
Yeah.
And it had a football website on it, right? And one of the guys who was writing on it, they referenced it on the radio as that's the official site. So there was never any issue with it. Weirdly, we sold the website. I think I've still got one up. The Bank of England.co.uk. I think it's that one. But I ran a lot of tests and stuff like that. But this is,
are you serious?
Yeah, I think it's the Bank of England.
Is it .co.uk?
I think I own both. I'm just checking. I may have pulled them back down actually. Bank of England.
Oh, you definitely have some balls.
UK.
Wow.
England. I think I might have got rid of all the trademark. This is going back to like 20.
So have they tried coming after you and getting that domain?
No. I got sued by Barclays.
Okay.
What it was interesting. Oh right, the SSL is down, but yeah, so the Bank of England.uk.
Okay.
The SSL's down for some reason. But what we did was we just wanted to see if you put content on a domain, will it rank back in 2012, 13, 14. And then I bought barclaysmortgage.com in 2014 for £600.
God. Okay.
Right. We put 2,500 words on it. It just sat there for a couple of years. And then 2018, I got an email, a cease and desist thing on the Christmas Eve saying you've got to pull the website down, because I think it went up to number 4 in Google randomly. So I got 24 hours to pull that domain down, and yeah, we gave it to Barclays, and they let it expire, and I believe someone else has bought it. That was a costly lesson. But we ran tests on hundreds and hundreds of domains with 2,500 words on where will it rank, what will happen, like literally hundreds and hundreds.
Do you still touch trademarks or not?
No. There's no point, to be honest. I mean, they're blatantly obvious, but back then it was okay, and we kind of guised it under the research and development. Let's see what happens if you've got the word in the thingy. But now, no, you wouldn't. It's pointless, to be honest. They'll just take it away. But back then it was different. Yeah, back then it was different. But we've done loads of crazy things. But that was the funny one. That was one I lost on.
At the end journal, the top domain from February 13th to February 26th is giveaway.com. Do you know the sale price?
No.
What would you guess it? Sam, do you know the sale price?
For what, sorry?
For giveaway.com.
Giveaway.com.
So 125, was it?
Oh, I don't know.
125, and you, Sam?
I mean,
250,000.
400,000.
Oh, see, we're both wrong.
I've got freestuff.com that I was looking at last year for an owner in America, and that we had offers around about 300, and the ask was 500, 550. So it would kind of make sense. It's in the similar kind of bracket as that. I mean, yeah, some of these comms go for crazy money.
And then the 3letter.com. PFP, Peter, Florida Peter, or Peter Foxtrot Peter.com. Got sold.
383,000. I think.
Sam, Sam?
353,000.
You guys actually are almost in the middle. 353.
Yeah. Great sell.
So you heard of that sale? Yes, right.
Yeah. I mean, these 3 letters with good combinations like that, they're you're looking at about 100,000 upwards. Great domain and great sell. I think that was a broker domain, wasn't it?
It was done together. K Ventures and Cedar.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
2 sellers. Yes.
Yeah, that's a very good sell.
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, guys, it was absolute pleasure. Ryan, hopefully not the last time.
No, we have to get Mo on next time. Mo or Jeff. They're the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. My apologies. I couldn't make it today. It's 7 o'clock. Coming from London. Yes, I suppose 7 o'clock is much better for us. Yes, when
Yeah.
the UK crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. 7, 8 o'clock, whatever.
I don't know if people have their dinner at 6 or something, get ready, maybe 7 or 8, I guess. Depends.
Yeah, it depends. It depends from the availability of all of us. Yes. Okay, and the last thing, Sam, what's the best way to contact you?
Me at samcharles.com.
And Ryan?
Ryan at digitalcandy.uk.
Okay. and let us see how many offers, how many people will want to get money for the domain names.
No, there'll be an influx on that side.
Everyone wants to liquidate.
And it's often the crazy domains that are.
Yes, but the fraction thing is really, really interesting. We should touch it. We should touch it over next time as well. Yes, we should.
Yeah,
Talk
that's
about it.
exciting.
Okay, guys, absolutely awesome. Thank you. Have a good night.
Brilliant.
Bye.
Thanks a lot for your time.
Thanks.
Speak to you later.